Hey, friends, Janelle Moss here, and I am super excited to be leading book club tonight with everyone. We are doing The Multiply Method by Sarah Robbins. And um, just want to say thanks for showing up and taking the time to invest in you, in your growth in your business, and in your leadership. So tonight we're going to be diving into chapter 6, which is all about one of the most important parts of our business: how to get customers and how to keep them. So it's packed with practical, simple strategies that help us create long-term customers, long-term income, and long-term impact. Who doesn't want that? So let's jump in. All right, starts with simple conversations. One of the first things taught here is that acquiring new customers does not come from being a sales expert. Thank goodness, because I don't know if any of us are actually sales experts. It comes from serving people, and we talk about that all the time, right? And how do we do that? How do we serve people through simple conversations? Well, that can happen by asking good questions, identifying their needs, and just being like aware and honing in on these things, right? Identifying their need, sharing a solution with them, and pointing them to simple tools. We do not need to know everything. We just need to listen to what someone is struggling with. Gut problems, hormones, energy, sleep, weight, inflammation, all the things that we typically hear, and then offer a solution that could help them. So in Plexus, this might look like saying something like, based on what you shared. I love that phrase. Based on what you shared, I have a couple products in mind that could really help support you. Would you want me to send a quick overview? Short, simple, to the point, offering a solution and waiting for the response. Acquisition is really just about caring enough to start conversations and then show people something that could genuinely improve their lives. Next, let the tools do the work. So we are not experts, agreed? The tools are the expert. This is what keeps our business simple and duplicatable. We don't have to reinvent the wheel or create complicated systems. The tools do the heavy lifting for us, and they can include things like product videos, testimony posts, short graphics, the team's welcomes or product guides, events, challenges, Facebook communities, Facebook groups. We're running a Facebook group right now, and these are all like tools that your leaders are making and doing for each and every one of you. So we should all be utilizing these, every single one of us. And so when we point people to tools, three things can happen. First of all, we take the pressure off of ourselves to have to know it all. Second, the customer gets clear professional information. And third, our team learns by watching and can easily duplicate what we are doing. So instead of explaining everything from scratch every time or giving long typed out paragraphs, we just connect people to the tool that answers their questions. And it's simple, it's duplicatable, and it works. Third point, customer retention comes from support, not necessarily sales. So we love retention, right? It's a vital important piece of our business. So the next major theme is retention, and it basically just analyzes that people stay when they feel supported, right? So long-term retention isn't built on discounts or perfect first orders or anything like that. It's built on relationships and guidance. So in this chapter, it speaks of the importance of checking in, celebrating progress, helping customers stay consistent. That is a huge thing I've been dealing with a lot of people lately, is just consistency. Um, Troubleshooting when needed, offering education and encouragement, and adding them into our community and giving them a simple plan. I feel like we're pretty good at that. We've got a system that our leaders have created that it's pretty easy to plug into and just duplicate that right on down. So in Plexus, when someone orders, our job basically has just begun, right? So we do work to acquire customers, but we also have to do work to keep our customers. That's where our business is going to grow. And our retention system is amazing. So use it. Simple. Just use it. People stay when they A, feel cared for, B, when they get results, and C, they get results when we support them and help them stay consistent. Okay? So a simple customer system equals predictable growth. The last big idea from this chapter is that having a simple, repeatable system creates predictable growth, and there's power in having a duplicatable customer experience, correct? So something our entire team can follow. And when our system is simple, anyone on our team can do it. A simple customer system can include our welcome script, a dosing guide, a follow-up schedule, monthly check-in messages, FAQs or resource documents, product recommendations, etc. So this is what creates consistency for you, but also for your team, right? So, and consistency is what leads to growth, not just for us, but for everyone watching and learning from us. So, in the next 15 minutes, actually probably a little bit longer than that, we're going to take this from information from this chapter and implement it. So get your laptops out, get your calendars and your systems out, and we're going to walk you through a few practical steps that we can do tonight to build our customer base and strengthen our retention system. All right. So right now, I want you to grab your notebook or your phone or your planner, and without overthinking this, I want you to write down the names of 3 people who could benefit from better gut health. Gut health or energy, sleep, all the things. Anybody you know that Plexus could truly make a difference in their lives. And I'm going to give you about a minute to a minute and a half and write down those 3 names. Just trust your gut and write down the first 3 people who come to mind. Okay, everybody got their 3? All right. Action step number 2. We are going to send one simple message to each of them. All right. And I will put a couple examples in the chat. But pick the one that fits the person you have in mind or do your own. Honestly, there's a couple great ones that, if you're regular at reaching out, you probably have that you love. So use that. Otherwise, I will put a couple examples in there and you can tweak it to make it your own. Always, always. Don't just copy and paste. Make sure you read it over so that it fits them. If it doesn't sound like you, if you're not like, hey girl, like don't write hey girl. Um, but choose one name from your list, pick a script, go ahead, send that message, and I'll give you a minute or two to do that. Um, and actually, let's just do all three because we have time tonight to do all three. How's everybody doing? Did we get three done? Give me a thumbs up if you got three done. Okay, about half of you. I'll give one more minute and then we'll do our next task. Okay, our next action step. I want you to either think of or go in your virtual office and pick out three current customers. Maybe there's someone you haven't checked on in a while. There may be like a faithful customer that you've had forever. Or maybe it's a newbie that you haven't checked on often enough. Totally up to you. But I want you to think of or go through your virtual office and pick out three current customers that you can reach out to right now. And this is a quick, simple way, and it's one of the key ways that we build retention. So this is just going to be part of our system, how we follow up with our customers. And I can put two examples in the chat for this as well. One is just maybe a check-in message, but you know what? Sometimes I have found that I like to just do relational messages to my customers. I actually had feedback. This is being kind of vulnerable. I had feedback. It was probably a year or two ago, and one of my customers said, "You know, it would be really nice if you would talk to me about something other than Plexus sometime." I was like, "Ooh, okay." So, you know what? Use your discretion, but maybe just touching base and having a relational message would be okay to do with some of your customers as well. Okay, I'm going to give you about 1 or 2 more minutes, and then I have a few questions that if anybody wants to share at the end, we can open it up for just a couple minute discussion. So keep working for a couple minutes here. Okay, if you are in the middle of a message, feel free to finish it up. And if you are finished, I would like to invite anybody to unmute and answer this question. Which part of customer care do you feel most confident in? And have you always felt confident in that? If not, what made you grow? What's easy for you in customer care? Anybody want to share?
I will. Um, I feel like I have a lot of product knowledge, and that was not the case in the beginning. Like I remember being so nervous, and like Susie sent me this old flip book with all the products and what they do and what you can say about them. Like it must have been something that you guys got way back when. Somebody passed it to her, and um, but I've found that my sweet spot isn't talking about the products. It's more about asking them how they're doing and seeing if asking more questions is what I've had to learn, I guess, not just spewing what I can help them with.
And don't you feel like that just comes with time and just
Mhm.
being more confident and relaxed and just having it be more conversational?
Yeah, it definitely comes with confidence. So I feel like the three-way chats are huge because I definitely relied on my sponsor at the very beginning to kind of do more of the talking, and I was just taking it in and then just like liking or loving what she was saying. And then it started to switch a little bit as I got more confident. I would initiate the conversation. She would be the one liking or loving what I was saying.
Mhm. Yep, love it. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? What part of customer care do you feel confident in? That's a lot of C's.
I think my belief in the products and like just not ever wavering in that, even if somebody is not doing super well, just like, or if they're like, these are the results that I wanted, I don't see them, I'm frustrated, or I'm going to be done. Like, I've had people walk away and I still have said, you know what, I still am just super confident that this can help you, and kind of like just keeping the door open. And I've had people come back, like, I was wrong, you were right, let's try this again. So just not ever wavering in your belief. You can still love them on the way out type thing, but just like, this is what I believe and this is what I'm standing on, and not budging. Like, they need your belief in that. So,
Love it. Yeah, and that belief is contagious, like you said, and they came back because of your belief. That's awesome. Okay, next question. What part do you want to strengthen more? Which part do you feel like you need more improvement on? Acquiring new customers or retaining old customers? Feel free to put a one in the chat if it's for getting new customers and a two in the chat if it's for retaining old customers. I'm excited to see. We got a one, one, both, one and two, both. Nice, Shelly. Shelly put three, upgrading happy customers to business builders. Amen, girl. One and two, one and two, one. Okay, so a lot of ones, you guys. That is interesting. Okay, so what is that telling us? I love that. That was good reflection. Okay. So last question, and you can put it in the chat, but I want you to think about it. What simple system could you implement this week to strengthen whatever you just wrote in the chat? So if you're struggling with acquiring new customers, and it doesn't even have to be a system, what's maybe one thing that you could work on this week to get new customers if you put a one in the chat? or unmute yourself. That would be even better for people that watch the recording. Connection.
I want to revisit my happy customers, but via voice message or ideally like phone call. If they would get on a phone call with me just to talk through the opportunity and see what needs that they might have, but also to hype up the things we have going on in the company. Like I want them to hear the energy and the passion and why I keep harping on them that they need to be doing this, you know? So, but I think the voice concept is just super important with that.
I agree. That personal connection is, I mean, there's nothing else that replaces that.
I want to ask more questions. I need to be better about that. And I just have an example of one that I asked some questions yesterday, and she answered back and said that she was frustrated because she isn't losing weight. She goes, actually, I've gained weight. And so then I asked her a whole bunch of questions. And that gave me confidence and made me realize I need to ask way more questions. And Chris has been telling me that too. You just need to ask more questions. And so that's something that I'm going to work on. And I want to get in a few more of my, customers that maybe have been doing it a long time, but don't have a lot of interaction with anymore because they've been customers a long time, which I mean, I still get in, every month, a few months or so, even if they've been a customer for a long time. But that is what I want to work on, is just getting in there and saying, okay, so tell me about it. Tell me what you're using. Tell me your diet. Tell me your exercise. Tell me this and that. So that's mine.
Yeah, and I think along with that, like for me at least, when I would say that in the past of, okay, I need to ask more questions, like just as important is then once they start talking is zipping my lips and listening. Because I would be so tempted, they would, say a sentence or two, and I would want to interject, be like, oh, what about this? Or, and I would have a thought, an idea. I'm like, I got to get it out before I forget. But waiting until they paused before I said anything was something that I think a lot of us need to learn just as much as asking the questions. So I would encourage you to do that just because I know for me, that was almost just as important because, and maybe, I don't know, maybe this is a personal growth thing because of what we've done here for so many years is learning about ourselves and how to interact with other people. But you know how they say sometimes you need to listen to listen and not listen to respond. And I don't know if I said that right, but I think you know what I mean. But shutting my brain off of my thoughts while they're talking and just really focus and listen and be intent. And they can feel that too. Oh, I love that, Liz. Liz wrote, take notes while they're talking. Um, that's a really good idea because it really keeps your focus on them and their words. I love that. Listen to understand, not to reply. Thank you, Sue. Spot on. No, that's good. Anybody else have anything they want to share of how they think they can apply? Just one little thing they can do this week. No? All right. We are at our time. Thank you guys for your time and your work and spending part of your night with us here. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a great week.